Hey, good evening, everybody. I think just to start off with, I just apologize that we're so late. Um, if you guys can just give me what you've experienced in the last week with skill 6, and then I'll go over my notes afterwards and get any feedback. So if you can just start off with Elaine and see what you've um, done in terms of getting people started.
Good evening, everybody. I don't have a positive comment, but I think it could be valuable to everybody. I built a relationship with someone that I met at Pick n Pay a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him, if I send you a video, would you make time to watch it? And he said, yes, sure. And then I asked him, I said, I know you're a very busy person, so would a week be time enough for you to watch and for me to contact you again? He said, no problem. And he said, well, thank you for the video, but um, the price of your products are not in my target market. So I said, no, that's fine. I respect that. I said, but now what do you think of the marketing plan? So he says, well, he was with the other company and it's similar. So I said, well, you're right, it is similar, but I mean, I said, we have a scientific advisory board who tests the products from the soil to the seeds to the plants to the quality control. He says, oh, so he says, well, not at the moment, which I see as positive. I mean, he didn't say don't thank you, but no thank you. He says not at the moment. So I see it as a positive. And I said, well, in the meantime, would you pass on the video? It was a video of Drew and Brandon Masondo explaining what Neolife is about. But one lesson that I learned is, and I remember Charlie telling us this in at Acres, and I'm sure he said it on numerous occasions. Don't give the people your website, because if they see the prices, they see the products and the prices, then they turn it off. So that's my comment for approaching people, and I didn't get him started. But I do have positive stories of how I got people started, and they made a profit at the opening, when I launched their business. So I take my hat off to Louis, and I will follow his lesson 6. And I know Neolife is the best, has the best business plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Howard, do you have anything to add?
Hi, Russell. Hi, everybody. I don't really have much. I must be honest, I haven't had a chance to listen to that video. But still speaking to people last week and just busy building up relations with them. I haven't. I've just met them, so I just want to build up a bit of a relationship before I actually show them the business concept. So yeah, I haven't been doing that much. Thanks, Russell.
Yeah, thanks, Howard. Ina, anything to add?
Hi, thanks very much. Yes. Something that stuck in my mind, listening to Louis' video, was tell, show, try, do. And I think I'm going to make that my mantra for a little while. Tell, show, try, do. And I love how he said, well, just ask your family to come and listen to your presentation and blah, 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 blah. So I really like that. Now, last week, maybe a week and a half ago, I heard from a friend that she contracted breast cancer and she was going to go for a checkup on the 5th of April, which was last Friday, right? And so I said to her, you know, and I didn't think of her as a prospect because it's such a sensitive situation. And I really just wanted to show her endearment and care. However, I did say, if I sent you some information about products, especially to boost your immune system, would you be interested to view it? And let me know what you think of it. So I sent her Louis a video on his feedback of his cancer journey and some other information. So I need to follow that up. So your question was in connection with the topic tonight, you know, what have you done? So I must admit, this has not been a direct recruitment, but I have made contact to speak about the products with her. And that's all I have to say for now. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Ina. Jamati?
Good evening.
Jamie? Hi.
Yes, I have made some contacts. I have made some contacts and I have invited them to the rally. It sounds like some of them are busy because they have other things to do, but there is one prospect and I'm hoping that he's going to follow through. And on Louis' video, I was looking at we have to give assignments like goals and dreams and use the products. You have to tell the people. You have to learn your back office, and I have a problem learning my back office. So I will need some help there. Finding customers is not the biggest thing, but for them to buy because of our price, that seems to be a challenge. So, on Louis' talk, he says you invite them and you tell them to purchase a ticket to the event, and you hope that I hope that they come, because I have tried to give them that information that they should be, you know, there's the rally. Most of them are like, oh, they have this, they have that, and they can't make it. So I don't know if it's the way I ask them, or what am I doing that is not quite. I don't have I don't seem to be successful in getting them there. It always seems to be the problem. So I know I have a challenge with my with the vehicle. So that's one of the things that I think could be a drawback. But other than that, I'm not sure. So yeah, I have listened to the video. There's a lot. There's a whole lot. There's quite a lot to absorb. So yeah, I have to practice with everyone, like you said, whether it's talking to your animal or you're talking to, you just have to keep edifying, introduce them to your leader and take the people to your leader so that the leader can also improve at the same time. And the leader will feel, I am now being challenged, so I have to show I have to try and live up to that. And so I'm not sure where I'm going to get to with this, but I'm trying. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. I think it's just Mary Lisa left, and then I'll go through my stuff.
Okay. If I can quickly answer Jamie's question about inviting to events. It is a challenge, but I have found that we mentioned this on the call a few weeks ago as well. You need to send them a reminder, but it mustn't sound or look like a reminder. So you keep saying, you send them the invite again and you say, I am so excited about Saturday. And then the day before you send them another invite and you say, I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Look forward to this event like you have no idea. So you keep that excitement going. You can't just send the invite once and then hope for the best. So I hope that helps a little bit, Jamie. And then,
thank you, it does.
Pleasure. When it comes to Louis, guys, if you can have his type of excitement and vibrancy and just overall enthusiasm when you speak to people, we can't. I learn every week, and I know that I come across as very excited, but he's next level, as Hazel would say. So I must even up my excitement more so to get to his level, because he says that people just want to start once he's told them. You can, what other company gives you money for buying from them? What other company pays you a bonus? You know, what other company asks for so little upfront? Instead of $1 million investment in one or other franchise. And there was something right at the start that I was going to mention while you were all talking. I thought about it, but now I can't remember. But I think it's got to do with what Jamie said: practice, practice, practice. Do the presentation to your dog, your granny, your son, your aunt, whatever, and ask them for their guidance and their input. Because people love giving their input. So if you don't say to them, I want you to start the business, I want your input, and I want you to tell me where I could have done something better, I think we should maybe start trying that, because it works for Louis. So, you know, maybe if we take that same approach, instead of saying, can I, you know, come and show you the products, if they say no to the opportunity. And the assignments, I find that fascinating. And I remember that from a previous video where he says, give them one assignment after the other to keep them in the business. You know, get them to tell you how many invites they've sent for the next event and what they've said to the people, and just keep them busy and keep them engaged so that they don't lose interest. And then I like what he says, when you launch a new person, say to them, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have days where you just feel like, I don't want to get up, I don't want to call people, whatever. And ask them, how should I treat you at that time? Should I contact you and ask you, are you okay? You seem to have disappeared. Or should I just let you stew in your, what does he say? Stew in your misery or something like that. I love that. I really, really think we should listen or watch this video again whenever we can. Just watch it again, because I think that's where a lot of us fall short. Most of us, I know I do. So if we can just watch and catch that excitement and all the hints and tips and approach people a bit differently, I am sure we will have better results. Thanks, Russell.
Okay, thanks, Marilisa. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the notes that I've made. You guys still hear me clearly?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
Russell.
Okay, awesome. So obviously he starts off by saying that you should really master all of the 7 skills. I think he says that in a couple of the videos. And in terms of launching distributors, I just had a couple of thoughts while you guys were talking. Now, the one is I feel like launching distributors starts before they actually agree to sign up. And what I mean by that is when we speak to somebody and we use any of the techniques that we've learned, what I sometimes like to do is actually say to them that take note of what I'm saying now, because I'm not just saying this to try and get you to join. I want you to take note so that when you speak to people, you're going to say the same thing. You know, you want them to actually realize that it is a duplicatable business. It's a simple thing that they need to take note of so they can do it. It's not just that you're trying to convince them. You know, if they make the decision to start, then they need to do what you're doing and duplicate the process. And then the other thing is also about Louis and how committed he is to the business is, I think it was when we were in Bloemfontein. So we stopped off at the airport and we saw some of the people off while we were organizing the transport to get back to the bus. And Louis had just come from, you know, the Bloemfontein conference. He just spoken there. I think that was where he mentioned that he actually wasn't feeling well the week before or something. And here's this guy that's already successful in the business, and he's so committed to growing even further that he's standing over a table and he's speaking to a group of people he doesn't know and getting numbers. And he must have been exhausted, and yet he's, you know, he's still building his business, even at the airport on his way home from an event. So I think that kind of example starts before you actually even get that go ahead to start the person up in the business. So some of the other notes that I've made, you can see on the screen there, is that we need to equip and empower people as well to run their own business. So when we get them started, we're not just, and Charlie mentioned this in his training recently as well, we're not just giving them the instruction and letting them run with it. We need to actually be with them or on a call with them and actually help them to do the thing that we want them to do. So if they're speaking to somebody, we're involved in that conversation as well, especially the first few times that they do it, so that they can see how to do it, you know. And then it goes to it speaks to the technique of tell, show, try, do. I see that as the technique that we've been told since the Kodali Monday night training days, where they said there's a technique called I do, we do, and then you do. So it's sort of a 3-step process. So first I do it for you, so you kind of get the idea of what to do. And then we do it together where you do it and I sort of coach you through the process. If you make a mistake, it's fine, but I'll sort of show you where you went wrong and you can try again. And then you do that a couple of times, and by then the person can actually go out and do it themselves. So that's what needs to happen more, I think, when we launch distributors, that we don't sort of give them a whole lot of instructions and then leave and hope that they do it, or follow up a few days later and find out how it went. That we actually make sure that they do it by actually doing it with them. And then we at least can see their level of skill and where they may be going wrong. So that's to do with the tell, show, try, do. And I think it also speaks to the practicing of the approach or the scripts and doing demonstrations, and that we can't just expect people to go out and do those things if we haven't done it with them and shown them what to do, especially with new people that haven't been in and around the business, haven't used the products before. And we need to really go and, help them to practice the scripts, even if you have to have a mock conversation or a mock prospecting session. Make sure that they do the demonstrations themselves at trainings and things. It shouldn't be the same people up there doing it. It should be the newer people that get to see how easy it actually is, and that will then give them confidence to go and do it on their own. He speaks about seeking positive feedback and guidance from friends and family. I know oftentimes friends and family will be people who it might be the most difficult to approach them, but it's good practice as well to burn through your names list and speak to everybody on it. So it gives you that experience that you can then take forward. I don't want to go through the whole list one by one, so I'm just seeing what to highlight from it. And then I've got a few questions I want to ask at the end. There's a note there, emphasize the importance of attending events for inspiration. And I think there's a lot of things that we need to sort of emphasize over time, but the connection that people make at events with other people, or Mary Lisa mentioned something earlier. I can't remember exactly what you were saying, but it's sort of like you find ways to, it's one of Eric Wardy's things as well, keep people over the line, keep them positive about the business. And some of those things include selling a product, or even doing a demonstration or doing a presentation even. But attending an event is going to be one of them, signing their first person up or whatever it may be, just to get them to remember also why they started the business. That's another important factor that falls under launching distributors. He talks about cultivating relationships and building a supportive community. I think we do the second of that quite well. And the cultivating of relationships part, it's something that we maybe don't practice enough in terms of role playing and that. You could probably do that more in training. So it's sort of like a game where there's no loser because everybody learns. I know he talks also about, in one of the skills, about collecting stories and making sure that you have stories that are relevant to your current prospect, whether it's about the product or the business. So especially at the point we'll be launching distributors, we want to introduce them also to some people who've had some success early on, and give them stories of that as well, things like that, that will give them the perspective of other people that have been exactly where they are, maybe starting up, or maybe it's someone that did start up before and they're starting up again, and you can tell stories of other people that have had that same experience and now they're doing well. Or you can even better actually introduce them face to face, or phone them and get them just to tell that part of their story. I think that ties kind of into the introducing new distributors to experienced leaders as well, because in our own right, we are all experienced leaders in that we've got experience to share and we have people that we need to lead. I think very important also, he talks about validating the new
I can't hear
distributors.
anything, Russell. I don't know if it's only my link.
Mary Lisa, can you hear?
Yes, no, I can hear. So
Okay, then I think Howard's got an issue.
leave the meeting, honey, and log back in, and it should sort itself out.
So I lost my train of thought there.
Sorry,
Okay, I'm gonna go.
also
I'm gonna go
can't
to the.
remember.
Now I know what point I was on, but I lost the trail of thought of where I was going with it. I was talking about validating new distributors' decisions and encouraging them. Well, that's where I was going into, but then I lost my trail of thought. I'm going to move on to the last one. Create a clear game plan and set proper expectations for success. So there's two things in that last point that's crucial for us. And I think most of the people on the call have been on trainings, done trainings, or watched the videos about these two things. I'll start with the last part of setting proper expectations for success, where, we have that one tool where if you're prospecting someone, maybe on a one-on-one, and you ask them, well, how much money would you want to make in this business in order to make it worth your while? And then they sort of give you a figure and you write that amount down. And then you ask them, well, how much time a day are you willing to invest in the business? You can ask them in a day, in a week, or whatever. So you basically get a rough estimate, or an average, and they give you that time that they're willing to put in. And then I think one of the important questions that Hazel's been drilling into us for years to ask also is, what are you willing to sacrifice? And I actually asked one of my downlines this because we went through this sort of a conversation on WhatsApp once. And I haven't followed up with her again because that was the last question I asked and I never ever got a reply from that question. And I think that speaks volumes to what the issue really is. Although what was actually mentioned as the issue was that it was difficult because people weren't willing to pay the money because it's expensive or whatever. So there's two elements to the issue. The one is you don't know how to deal with the objection, but the other one is also that you don't know what you're willing to sacrifice, or you aren't willing to sacrifice anything to learn to overcome that objection. And I think if I'm going to call myself a leader, then I have to take that responsibility and sort of blame on myself to say I didn't sit with that downline and help that person to know what to do in those circumstances. So they never come to a training session, but maybe I could have done more than to get out to them, and so we learn how important it is for us to sort of put ourselves out there physically and not give an instruction, like I said earlier, and just expect them to follow it, So basically practice what I'm preaching is the lesson that I learned there. And then the first half of it was creating a clear game plan. We've got so many systems that we've been learning. One Charlie mentioned on Thursday is to just have a session with them, the very first session, where you don't go over the kit, you don't try to give them, let them write out the names list, their whole names list then or whatever. But you just ask them to take out their phone, go alphabetically through their phone, and take one person from A, any person, don't think about it, one person from B, and just start doing three-way calls with them, in person, which again speaks to what I said earlier on about the I do, we do, you do, but where you're actually with them physically or on a call with them, to guide them through the process and make them realize not just how easy it is, but how fast it can be and how much you can actually get done in like 10 minutes, for example. So that is sort of a overview from the notes that I've got there of maps. Just want to go through the rest of my notes on the other side and see. Is there anybody who's got a question on the content that I've spoken about so far? Or maybe a question about launching distributors before I go through the three questions I'd like to ask everyone.
Russel, my question, Elaine here. I think Jamie and I identified our need, and I'm sure there are many other people who may not be on the Zoom call tonight, is that we actually don't know how to go into the back office and take information that we can send to prospects. And when Louis said on his video that there are weekly emails from Neolife. I mean, how many of us have actually read those weekly emails? Not me. So I think we are, Jamie and I speak for the two of us, we are crying out to you for help to assist us into going into that back office and knowing what to look for and how to send it to prospects, please, when you are available.
Yeah, I think the most important thing about that is to, even if you're struggling with it, to try and am I on mute? No, I'm not. To try and do it and to write down what the issue was, like how far did you get, and then what you still need to do, or, you know, what you're still confused about. Because from just out of memory now, there's basically 3 steps. You log into your I would still can't hear. Shame. Okay. Mary Lisa, is Howard able to listen in on your side or not?
No, I'm at my son's house. I'm house
Oh,
sitting.
okay. It is being recorded, Howard, so I'll share the recording afterwards. Sorry about that. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, so there's just basically 3 steps about getting to your back office. And the one step is logging in. So that in order to do that first step, you need to know what is your website address. So Elaine and sorry, who did you say was the other person? Was it Jamie?
Jamie.
Yeah,
Jamie.
Jamie, yes.
If the two of you can just put in the comments so that we don't take too long with this conversation while we're busy on this skill, but just put on the on the chat if yes or no, if you know what your website address is, and let's just go there
Yeah,
first.
I do, yeah.
Russell, can I quickly just
Yeah.
comment? You know, ladies, we do this in training on a Tuesday. So we encourage people who don't work full time to come to training at the warehouse on a Tuesday. And we can go over it again so that we don't take up time now to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. And then Russell, what was what I was impressed with of Louis' video is that I mean we do it, but he actually spoke about sampling. When you get the person started, when you launch their business, you give the guests samples of the shake, the aloe vera juice, and what, and let them experience the product. So when the people go away, they're not only going away with a price list and a picture of the container, but we also selling the benefits of the products. That was very exciting and important to me. And also how to find customers.
Was that on this video?
Yes, I made the notes.
Finding customers. Okay.
Yes, he says, no, he didn't say how to, he spoke about the game plan, how to sponsor 3 people in 1 month. You talk about their goals and their dreams and order and use products, and you show them the tools on the website and help them how to find a customer.
Oh, okay,
That's
okay. I
what
see what you
I
mean.
heard.
In terms of the new person, you know, helping them to find a customer as early as possible. Sorry, I was a bit
Yeah,
slow there too.
yeah.
Linking the relevance. Okay, so just to ask a few things, I've already asked this question sort of, but maybe to ask it in a different way, we'll get other input. What aspect of training, so either watching the video or more importantly, how do you plan to apply what you've learned from this training in your business efforts moving forward? I'm going to actually ask all three questions, but I'll leave it on the screen. The second question will be, what steps will you take to strengthen your relationships and foster a more supportive community within your business network? So have you learned any tangible things that you can do immediately to start improving those relationships with your team or your customers, or just the general community that you do your business in? And then how the final one is, let me just get it across here. Here we go. And then how do you plan to use the tell, show, try, do, or the I do, we do, you do approach in your training methods when you're getting your people on board? So I think it's important, if you don't understand the question properly, or if you don't really have an idea where to start, to just mention that, and actually just say what is confusing about it for you, so we can actually help, instead of being afraid to ask about it, or not admitting that you don't understand. So let's go through the list. Elaine, you've been on already. You mentioned what you got out of it already, but if you can just go through the second two, please.
What will I do? Well, my first step is to become more familiar or comfortable with getting into the back office, so that I can share information with prospects and with my my downline, because everybody, I mean, there are lots of people in my team who don't know how to get into the website. So I will be empowering them once I am comfortable with it. What am I going to do to build relationships in my team? What I thought of is once a month, taking each one of them for a wimpy breakfast, and then asking them, what are your needs? What are your challenges? How can I help you take the next step? So I want to build closer and stronger relationships, and then also go with each one of them to do a presentation, do a one-on-one opening their distributors. And what was the third question, Russell?
It's on the screen, Elaine. How do you intend to incorporate the tell, show, try, do approach? Sorry, Hazel's phoning me and it's killing my signal here. Did you get that, Elaine?
Oh, no, I will go with my new distributor, and I will do the presentation, and then I will say please make notes, and after I've done the presentation, tell me what you are not clear about or what you're not comfortable with doing. And then if I need to do it again, I will say, make notes so that you will feel comfortable with sharing this with me. And if you feel, if you forget something, then I will back you up. But then the third time, I will be sitting and listening to you while you do it on your own.
Okay, Elaine, are you done?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I think one of the things that just occurring to me while we going over this, and it's not, for me, it's not a new tool or new information, but if we don't do this where these things, especially the, that A to Z thing that Charlie talks about, and I do, we do, you do, Telstra try do. If we don't do that, in our very first meeting with them, where they actually sort of get their kit, or when they get to their first home demonstration in their house or whatever, then I think it becomes that much more difficult to set up that meeting later on. Just an observation. I don't know if everybody else's experience is similar to that. So what I'm saying is that we should try and do those things, or that thing specifically, as soon as possible. So when you open the kit with them, or take them the kit, or sign up the paperwork even, and if you do it at the warehouse, just want to do a few of those calls then and there, so that they can see what it's like. Or even if you have to do if they're not willing to do that, do a scenario with them, a role play. Do something that they can take away, I can say, a practical thing that they can do immediately, rather than having to set up another appointment a week later, a month later, whatever it is. And they might go a week or a month without taking any significant steps. It's just something that occurred to me now while we were busy, while Ellen was talking. And then let me go down to the next person. I see Hazel is on. She was trying to call me earlier. Hazel, are you with us?
Yes, Russell. I'm so
Okay.
sorry I'm late. I had a challenge. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Ina. Okay, thanks, Hazel. Ina, are you?
Hi, yes.
Okay, let's get your
I'll
input on the
start with the
three questions, please.
Sure, I'll start with the third question, because that's the thing that really stood out to me. And how do I to incorporating it? Is to actually just practice it first, so that I know the basis of the script. And when I know the basis of the script, I can then far more easily and more comfortably speak. In other words, tell first of all, and then show, whether it's a demonstration or what, try a product, and then can you do what I have just done. But I think for me, the first important thing is that I'm comfortable with a script or a variety of scripts, depending on certain circumstances or experiences of the person with whom I'm speaking. And then I'd like to take the first question. What resonated most with me was exactly this: the tell, show, try, do. And for me, it's a practical thing, that it's a doing thing that I have to put into action. And what steps will I take to strengthen relationships and foster a supportive community within my business network? I actually just need to speak to more people more often, and find opportunities. You mentioned earlier on how Louis just stood over a table and started speaking to people. And sometimes I'm more successful at speaking with people at random. Other times I'm a little bit more sensitive, and especially if they approach me with a certain issue and I don't know on the spot how to solve it, but I want to talk to them, then either I feel embarrassed or I feel out of my depth. And then I have to buy myself time to say, hey, I don't have all the answers right at the moment, but can I come back to you? Can I go do some research and come back to you? So yeah, those are my answers. Thanks, Russell.
That's good feedback as well. Thanks, I think one of the things that we also learned, one of the tools we use, and it's not just so that to get us sort of out of that kind of jam that you mentioned now of not actually knowing the answer, but it's also to show them, even if you do know the answer, rather not to tell them the answer from yourself, but to point them to the tool that will give the answer. And obviously, yourself and Elaine need to, practice and get it right to be able to get to your back office and that. But even just something you have on your phone, or having the fast facts on one of the products or whatever it is. If somebody has a question and a lot of us aren't doctors, or I know we have a lot of nurses in our group, but the people aren't really medically inclined or know that much offhand or from your own experience and training about health and that sort of thing. So if you come into the business and you don't know the answer to something along the lines of health or the products or whatever, it's easiest just to rather point the person to the tool. But again, even if you do know the answer, it's better for duplication that you point them to the tool anyway. So you, for example, would say to them, well, let's go have a look at the brochure for 3NN. If we're talking about what makes the Neolife products different, and talk about 3NN to start off with. And you can go to the 3NN product brochure and actually point that out and read from it with them, You don't need to, in fact, trying to project yourself as an expert might actually backfire in that when they then do ask a question that you don't know the answer to and you suddenly don't know the answer, then it's going to obviously hurt your credibility. So having the tools really, I think, is probably one of the biggest takeaways for me from probably all of his videos that we've been studying, because he does mention it in a few of them, and being prepared in that sense will take us, I think, to another level. Jamie, I think you're the last one on the list. Maybe Lisa's been kicked off because her phone's battery died.
Russell, yes. You've said most of the things that we should know. Firstly, we should know our product. Secondly, we must be able to identify what is the one that the person will need. Like earlier, I was asking Lisa, and Ina answered some questions for me. So those are some of the things that I feel I should, step up on and know what I need to advise the people on. I can be a little bit. I sometimes feel like hesitant to tell people because am I going to do the right thing by telling them that? Yes, I can always refer to the team. I always do that, and that helps me to move forward and to tell people what I can advise them on. So videos and information, like to go back and show them this is what it is. I have not tried to do that, so that is what I've learned now from you, that you can say let's see what training does, that kind of thing. I feel like I have to tell them everything, but in the meantime I don't have to do that. I've just learned that right now, that I can actually open the book and I can show them what it says and to give them the idea of what it is. So I think that gives me my answer on the second question. But well, I'm not sure if it's a first, second, or third, but yes, but the third one would be, how do you intend to incorporate and try and approach into your training methods? Firstly, I need to I need I need to practice a lot. I need to do a lot of practicing, and I think that's where I need to get started very, very fast. I'm not sure if I've answered everything, but yeah, I think I need to, like Elaine said, also learn the back office so that I can get more information, so that I can know about it before I can share it with
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah. I think
Thank
one
you.
thing that you've said there that I feel I've been what's the right word? I've been at fault with as well with this is also to look at practice as
Yes.
my big thing that I need to focus on, but not practice in terms of doing it with people, but practice in terms of sitting in a room alone and actually practicing the stuff. Where there
Yes.
is a place for that, but I think we get caught up in and I'm speaking for myself now as well, because I know Hazel has spoken to me about me and a lot of other people about this many times. Hazel can do her famous saying in a bit. Just start and in the start thinking or something like that. She'll know what I'm talking about. But actually start doing the stuff through just doing it, and then you'll learn through your mistakes what you've done good and bad, and to take notes on that rather, because there's more learning in that than sitting and practicing it and then only going out 3 days later. And there is value to it, but it's also slower because you're constantly relying on paperwork or whatever, rather than you do it, you experience something, light bulb moment, and you'll never forget that. So I think it's two different ways of doing it, but just going out and doing it, it's a lot more valuable to your business when you build your business. And the other thing that I've also learned in terms of the sort of thing is maybe just write down a few steps. In that practice that you want to do, maybe the more valuable part of that is just write down the steps that you're going to do with a new person. And then instead of trying to memorize it, use that as a tool when you speak to the person. Even if they see you looking at it, it's important that they see the duplication and how duplication works and how easy it is to duplicate. I remember way back I did a health talk, and it was with some of the I know we had like a youngster group that we were trying to build at the time, and we actually just used the brochures. That was our training. We stood in front of the group and we spoke from the brochures. We didn't prepare anything. That was basically our talk. And if we're just saying what's on the brochure, then we're already educating the person. So it's important to get that point that it's better actually to not tell the person the answer yourself, but to show them where to get it and then read from the tool so that they can see where the answer is. Otherwise, I think the problem of people not knowing where the back office is that's actually where we've gone wrong in the past, where if people don't know, then we haven't, it's also our fault in a sense that when they join the business, whoever brought them in didn't make sure that they were on, know how to get to the back office. And I'm sure most of my downlines have the same challenge. So again, that is my fault for not being there physically with them, and the tell, show, try, do approach, but being part of the whole process, not just being part of the tell and show and then you go try and do. It's not like that. Just on the note of the back office, I was looking now while you guys were talking, and I found on Telegram one of the back office tutorial videos. I've posted that in the Wilson team group. So have a look at that. That should help you to get started on the back office. What I was saying earlier on about the 3 steps is, firstly, know what your website address is. And then you will obviously need your username and your password. If you can't remember that, phone the warehouse. Troy will be able to assist you there with that side of things. If you need to reset your password, I think she can assist with that as well. And then once you're logged on, you just go to resources and library. Like there's two words you need to basically write down now: resources and library. So if you don't know where to start with just getting your website address, you can phone the warehouse also, or work via your upline, but phone the warehouse and ask them if they can tell you what your website address is. I'm pretty sure they can, and help you to log into it. So there's steps 1 and 2 already done. And then step 3 is resources and library, and everything you need is on that page.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
Russel.
hopefully that will give you a clear and a simple thing. And also remember, when you now launch your new distributors, to show them the same thing, you know. What's your website address? Do you have your username and password? And then resources, library. That's all you need for that. Everything else is based on how much time you're willing to spend on it, and learn from your own trial and error and exploration of the site. And I think that is it from my side in terms of launching distributors. Hazel, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I came in late now, but I believe the back office is a story, Jamie. So the back office, like Russell said now, you know, is you need to make time to learn about it. We did a lot of training, a lot, and Russell is very hard on himself because his downline has no excuse for not knowing the back office, because he spent hours and hours on training that he did for us, and these things were recorded. And many a times that's the big challenge that I have, Jamie, and I'm not only talking to you, I'm talking to all of us, is that we have these things, it gets sent, and then we don't open it, you know. So that's why I say, Jamie, I'm not talking to you only, I'm talking to everybody, is that we don't step into it. And so that is so important. Like Russell loved to say, Hazel, it can't break. Just keep on going in, and, you know, and that is what we must do. So when it comes to the back office, it is our responsibility to educate ourselves, but we as a Wilson team really did a lot on that. So yeah, just listen to the videos and things that there is. And then on, I think it was, that said something in the line of, and again, I'm talking to myself also, that many times we feel uncomfortable. I think Jamie also said it. We feel uncomfortable, but I always say, just do it. And in the doing, start thinking. Because it's amazing how when you start, God just gives you the words and the wisdom to do whatever you need to do. And so that for me is so important. But I was also thinking, and I think it's both spoke about it, is make little cards for yourself. I think it's you, that we're talking about the different scripts, and it's for all of us. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again tonight, is the easiest thing is, and that also Russell did a lot of scripts, and it is on the groups. Take those scripts, put it on cards, and read from the scripts. I don't think people will think there's something wrong with you. It is when you make as if you know everything, then it becomes a challenge. So what I usually do to protect myself is, when I work with anybody, downlines, new people, whatever, I always say, remember, I also don't know everything. I'm always learning, and I'm sure I'm going to learn even from you. That's the one thing. The flip side of the coin is that when you speak to new people, you definitely know more than what they know when it comes to new life, because you saw the plan already. You know the plan. You know some of the products. Even if you brand new and you talk to your first prospect, you know more. Have that boldness, that attitude, that I'm here to make a difference. If that is your goal in life, then you will never have a challenge, because you know that whatever you are doing it's going to benefit whoever you are working with. And that for me is the biggest thing that we need to do. We need to go out. And like I think Drew said it tonight, is just go out and make a difference. Touch people's lives. So we need to tap into not what we want, but what is the need of the person, even the person that you don't know. Have that. That's why we've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen more. Tap into what's their needs. What can I do to help? And then go out and just do it. And like I say again, in the doing, then start thinking. Because we have to think. We can't just talk, but always, and the big thing, guys, I guarantee you, the big things that will always save you is when you're excited. People pick it up. People want to be around you at the end of the day because they can hear that you're sincere. It's all about them and not about us. Thank you, Russell. I missed a lot, but thank you. I saw you recorded it, so I can listen to it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you everybody then. We won't go on any further. Just say that I am getting a few screenshots just to show you the back office stuff. You should be able to follow along. There'll be 3 pictures that you can follow along with, and then just go over the video again when I get the recording link. I'll probably post that tomorrow morning at some point and go over the training again just to see what you might have missed. Thank you everybody and have a good evening.
Thank you, Russell.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks very much. Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Hazel.
Sleep tight.
Hazel.
Yeah,
Hazel.